Fall camp is in the books, and we're closing in on the Flames football season. We'll hear from head coach Jamie Chadwell, and the Flames fantasy draft is back and better than ever.
Plus, we'll tell you where Liberty Field Hockey ranks in the Big East and get to know Reagan Underwood. You're watching Flames Central.
The college football regular season is so close. The Liberty Flames season opener just days away, and no one's more excited than us. Welcome into Flames Central, your home for all things Liberty athletics. As always, alongside Emily Austin, I'm Matt Warner.
Speaking of Liberty football, a little later in this show, we will hold our fourth annual Flames fantasy draft, so you'll get to hear which players we're really high on this season. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, and for those who have followed our Flames fantasy league in past years, you know we don't allow the drafting of quarterbacks. That's especially pertinent this year because we still don't know who that's going to be. Head coach Jamie Chadwell telling the media on Wednesday they're going to keep the starting quarterback for week 1 under wraps until game day on September 2nd. The Flames hoping to force Bowling Green to prepare for as many options as possible. As for Bowling Green, Liberty began preparing for them this week. Coach Chadwell hopes that transitioning from the grind of camp practices to actual game prep will help give his players and staff a little extra juice this week as the season opener is in sight.
Today, we'll start our prep for our first opponent and have got our depth charts almost set. We still got some battles at certain positions, but once you get into school, then the players have a sense, hey, something's coming. And the urgency that's needed, it starts to pick up a little bit. And so, and from a coaching standpoint as well, you're ready to all the game planning, the different things that you've done, you're ready to see it in action and put it in action and help start developing your team. So there's always an excitement thing, but it's getting closer.
The NFL season is getting closer as well, and 2 former Flames are making quite the impression at the next level. Yes, it's just preseason, but the future is looking bright for both Malik Willis and Demario Douglas. Here's a look at their latest preseason stats. Willis played the entire game against Minnesota. The second-year QB went 10 of 17 for 85 yards, a touchdown and a pick. He also ran for 91 yards on 11 carries. Now, Demario hasn't gotten many snaps in preseason games, but as we've heard from multiple sources, that's because they've liked what they've seen from the rookie in practice. That being said, he had 2 receptions for 17 yards against Green Bay. These 2 will actually cross paths for the first time in the NFL as the Titans host the Pats in their final preseason game. Well, as you may remember, last week on the Flame Central podcast powered by Alcova Mortgage, we got the inside scoop on Demario Douglas and where he stands with New England. So it was a no-brainer that we had to do the same with Malik Willis. That's where ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Teron Davenport comes in to give us all the exclusive insight on Willis and his progress in Tennessee.
We saw the trust factor maybe with Malik last season when he got an opportunity. Do you feel like that has grown to the point where if called on this year, you'll see a more expanded version of the offense that he's going to be running?
Yeah, I think he'll get the keys to the car instead of the valet key. You know what I mean? He'll get an opportunity to run the offense. And I think the biggest improvement is just the comfort level. When you see him in the huddle, which is something he didn't do much there at Liberty, he's able to handle the operation well. He has a presence with him, a calming presence, I would say, whereas it never seems like he's rattled. And Mike Vrabel, the head coach, one of the things that he's continuously said about Malik Willis is the presence and the way he carries himself in the building, whereas he's carrying himself like a franchise quarterback, like a leader.
For more on Malik and his growth with the Titans, you have to check out this entire conversation with Teron Davenport. He's one of the best in the biz, but hey, so is Matt Warner and Joe Yock, who are on the Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage each and every week. I'm lucky enough to host it with those 2, so be sure you listen, download, subscribe to our podcast, or watch us on YouTube.
All right, return to field hockey now. It's a program that at this point approaches every season with championship aspirations. And at least as far as the Big East Conference is concerned, they're not the only one that thinks that. Liberty's been picked to win the conference, something they've accomplished each of the last 2 seasons. In addition to being picked atop the league, some individuals also received attention. Bethany Dykema named the preseason Defensive Player of the Year. Azul Aritzidi-Idioshin named the preseason Goalkeeper of the Year. And Reagan Underwood named the Co-Midfielder of the Year. High expectations all around for the Flames this season. Reagan Underwood, one of the players we just mentioned, is having earned preseason honors, and that shouldn't be any surprise given the success she's had at Liberty and on the world stage. With that in mind, we thought we'd spend some time getting to know one of the Flames stars and find out what makes her so special.
My name is Reagan Underwood, and I'm a midfielder on the Liberty field hockey team. My mom was the coach at our high school, and she started a youth league for second graders all the way up until sixth graders. That was the year before you could start playing middle school, so she wanted to make field hockey accessible for all the kids underneath so that she could help grow the program in our district. I love just the community that field hockey provides. And not only does that help with like the stress and the pressure of the game, but also it's just so much better when you can celebrate those victories with a large group of people and knowing that you guys all came together in order to accomplish a shared goal.
What Reagan did was help her team qualify for a Junior World Cup and compete at the highest level. But it's one thing to go and qualify, it's another thing to go and win a gold medal at a Junior Pan Ams and to score, the game-winning shootout and the goal that sends your team into overtime. So it was just an incredible experience, and I'm so proud of that kid, not just for the results, that's the fruit that we see, but the work that she's been putting in over these last couple years, especially these last 12 months, from a leadership standpoint to develop has been really out of this world.
Being able to wear like the USA uniform and to represent my country on an international level is just fantastic, and it's unlike anything I've really done before. If I'm only thinking about it as being my own personal success, then I'm totally forgetting about the reason why I even play. God gave me the ability to play and to move and to be active. And any success that I've had now is all pointed back towards Him. Because God should be our one and only thing. So I grew up in a very strong Christian household, and I think I did a good job of like displaying God well, but I don't think I did a good job of really like working on my personal relationship with God. It took me a while to overcome that, but a big part of overcoming that was really diving into the Word, working on my relationship with God, and making it more of a personal one rather than surface level. And it's a huge part of who I am now, and I really thank Liberty and the resources that are here for not only providing me with godly people, but people who also really cared about my personal relationship and wanted to make sure that it was strong, that I was doing well, and just surrounding me with, an environment that is just so Christian-filled and Christian-led. If you really put in the effort and the time and you're enjoying what you're doing, then most likely you'll get the outcomes that you want to be seeing. Maybe that doesn't work out. Like, there's reasons God puts us in places for certain reasons and for certain times. And, my time just happened to be now. That's where God's placed me right now as a part of this team. And I'm just going to trust in Him for why I'm getting success like I am. In the future, I definitely see field hockey still being a huge part of my life, whether that's coaching, playing, through any aspect that I can share those experiences with other people so that they also can feel the same things that I've felt through the sport.
Thanks to our Helmut Montoya for producing that piece. You know, field hockey has lost a lot of incredible players and great leaders throughout the last couple of years, but you can tell with this piece all the qualities that Reagan Underwood has to fill that role. It's been really neat to see her growth on and off the field this season.
Yeah, we've spent some time around her. The passion she has, not just for field hockey, for her class, for her faith. Like, she's just a passionate person I think people are drawn to and they want to certainly play with. And we've seen the kind of success both her and the program have had recently.
I think it's safe to say Reagan has a bright future, especially at the international level in this game. All right, let's stay on the pitch, but switch up the sport. Women's soccer regular season is officially underway. The 1-0 Lady Flames hosted Delaware after taking down VCU just a few days before. Let's take it to the 16th minute. Chloe Marr throws it in, and Ivy Gardner is there to put it away. Matt, they're calling this a Sunday shutout. The Lady Flames win at 1-0. Ansley Leha recorded 2 saves in the game and went on to be named the CUSA Goalkeeper of the Week. OU hosts Tennessee Tech up next.
Well, over the years, Liberty women's basketball has hosted some marquee non-conference opponents. Virginia Tech and Duke are a couple that come to mind. And this season, they're doing it again with one of the premier programs in women's basketball history. The Lady Flames releasing their non-conference schedule this past week. And on December 31st, Liberty will ring in the new year by hosting the Lady Vols of Tennessee. It's the most eye-catching opponent on a schedule that has a few. Liberty will also face Texas on the road, as well as playing host to Grand Canyon. The Lady Flames not shying away from some tough non-conference competition as they prepare for their first season in CUSA.
Man, we are taking you all around the campus in this show. Check in with cross country. CUSA preseason polls were released this week as the Liberty men were projected to finish at the top of the conference, while the Lady Flames were picked to come in second behind Middle Tennessee. Cross country will be the first Liberty sport to compete for CUSA titles, with the conference meet set for October 28th. All right, the anticipation is almost over. The 4th annual Flames Fantasy Draft is just on the other side of this break.
Plus, a new addition to Game Day on the Mountain. It's something you don't want to miss. Keep it locked right here.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do, and getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books, and an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help you get ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day. Your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
Chevrolet was awesome. Here comes a big push to the 24 and the inside lane.
And William Byron comes off turn 4 to win.
Welcome back to the show, the moment that we've all been waiting for. Believe it or not, this is the fourth annual Flames Fantasy Draft. I'm really excited because I'm coming in as a champion this season. I don't know if you followed along.
I could taste it. It was right there. Went right through the fingers.
Yeah, and just failed. So I'm looking to have back-to-back championship this season. Yeah. Matt actually just told me that I won last year, so, really, really excited about that. Matt, for those of us who don't know, give us the ground rules.
Those of us. Let's talk about the ground rules. No quarterbacks in this league. That wouldn't be fair. So 5 players total, 3 offensive players, 2 defensive players. Normal fantasy rules apply, half-point PPR, all of that. But one change this season, there are 2 free agent periods. After week 4, after week 8, we can swap out players, or if there's an injury to somebody on our roster, we can swap out a player at that point. So a little more roster movement and shaking than there was last year.
It's pretty exciting. All right, so random draft order.
Let's get this thing rolling.
Joe goes first, then
baby.
me, then Matt.
Snake
so
draft.
Joe, start us off.
I'm going with Yacht Talk special freshman running back coming out of nowhere, coming out of the blue. That's my boy, Von Blue. I like Von Blue. I think he's an excellent football player. The coaches are very high on him. His freshman year ran for over 3,000 yards in high school. And the thing from a fantasy perspective is this guy can catch the ball out of the backfield to get those receiving yards. So a freshman comes in as the overall #1 draft choice.
That's shocking.
That's
in
risky.
this year's fantasy draft.
All right, well, while Joe is feeling the blues for making that pick, that he didn't pick Quentin Cooley, I'm going with the bowling ball. He's a veteran running back on this squad, and he's going to knock down some pins this season. Wake Forest transfer. Last year, he had 51 carries for 246 yards and 3 touchdowns. We did a little out of the office with Quentin Cooley this season. He makes T-shirts. So at the end of the season, I'm going to have him put Flames Fantasy back-to-back champion on my T-shirt because this pick is a strike for EA.
Okay, let me take. Can we get my tight shot here? I want to speak to the people out there. I want you to know, while Joe and Emily have been pumping the Liberty football staff for information, like I see them at practices off in the corner, whispering to different staffers, "Hey, what do you think about it?" No. What do I trust? I trust these steely hazel eyes. That's what I trust. I trust what I see. And what I see is Billy Lucas, Billy football, having a huge year. We're going 3 straight running backs to start the draft. The transfer from Duquesne, almost 800 yards rushing a year ago, 5 touchdowns, over 4 yards a carry. And get this, Mr. Consistency, in 387 carries, 2 fumbles at Duquesne.
Takes care of
he
the
is a
football.
solid player. I think he's going to have a good year. All right. We're doing snake draft, so it comes back to me. First pick of the second round. Sticking with the transfer theme, out of UT Martin, the wide receiver Elijah Smoot. Had a good year last year, over 500 yards receiving, 6 plays of 30 yards or more. He's explosive. He has the size at 6'1". I think he's going to be a breakout wide receiver for the Flames in his first year here on campus.
All right, with my second pick, I'm going with wide receiver CJ Daniels.
Sticky.
We might have the best nickname on the team because it isn't necessarily Sticky. He's number 4, which means C4. Do you guys know what that means? He's going to explode in this offense this season. Looking back to his 2021 season, because he redshirted last year, we didn't see much of him. 37 receptions for 629 yards. That's an average of 17 yards per reception. Oh, by the way, guys, he tallied 7 scores. Yeah. C4 is about to blow up this competition, and I am here for it.
Yeah. Joe, what do you got?
This guy's going to be a red zone machine.
Yeah.
He came on as the season progressed. We're going to go with take a ride in my Bentley Henshaw.
Nice.
The tight end, the big tight end who came on, started seeing more catches later in the season, had the 67-yard touchdown in the bowl game. And during that play, I was like, man, this guy is athletic. This guy can run. He is a red zone nightmare, fantasy point scoring machine. Take a ride in my Bentley Henshaw.
Really proud of that. All right, back to you, Joe. Top of the third round now.
Top of the third round, we got to go with a guy who's been around for a while now. And a big, tall receiver. Once again, we like those fantasy points in that red zone. Noah Frith is a downfield threat with his height, to be able to high point the ball. Had a really good season. I can almost see his production. He potentially, with the loss of Demario Douglas, potentially could see him become the number one guy. So Noah Frith is a dangerous guy who could score a lot of points with his height and be able to be an excellent fantasy score for Yacht Talk Nation, baby.
All right, I am going with in my third round choice, Kendi Charles, D tackle.
First defensive player.
So like your grandma, but this guy is a sack machine. Also might have the best nickname on the team. He changed his number to 9 this year, K9. Roof, roof. Folks, you know that twist move that he pulled on Joe Yacht during the Flame Central podcast earlier this year? Yeah, he's going to be twirling down some quarterbacks all season long. He ranked 4th on the team with 59 tackles last season, recorded 10 tackles for loss and 5.5 sacks as well. These opposing quarterbacks are going to have a rough year with this K9 on the line.
All right, with my pick to end the third round, I'm staying on the defensive side, a guy that it seems like every year we say, oh, there's got to be somebody else. Maybe he's not going to do it. And somehow you look at the end of the year and he's productive. Tyron Dupree, the linebacker. Do you know only one player on this current roster had more tackles than him a season ago? He leads that linebacker room, a veteran presence. He's always around the football. I'll take Tyron Dupree. Coming back to me to start the fourth round, I'm going to stick with the linebackers. Jerome Jolly, a name we've heard for a long time. We've been waiting for him to break out. This is the season that he does it. I'll take Jolly with my fourth round.
All right, I'm going with Austin Henderson, tight end. He's 6'6", 250, big body, and he's going to be a big-time factor for the points on the board for MLA Austin this season. Cody Leducco has said tight ends are going to play a huge role in this offense. Remember that huge touchdown that Henderson scored again in that BYU game, so I'm really, really looking forward to getting some red zone scores from him this season and get those points up for me in the tight end room.
Well, there's a guy that's sitting around right now watching this, and he's thinking to himself, why in the world have I not been picked yet? And that is Quentin Reese, who's going to be the leader of this defense. You look for Quentin Reese last year, 29 tackles, 1 pick, 1 sack. But this guy, athletically, is at another level. He's going to score points from the tackles that he's going to continue to make. He goes sideline to sideline, plays off the hash, can do everything you can do to be able to make big interceptions. I mean, and he's got a deal signed with Reese's Pieces. I mean, it's
That's
E.T.
the only reason why Joe
It's
picked him.
E.T. and Quentin Reese with Reese's Pieces. Are you kidding me? This guy is getting ready to have a breakout season.
All right, finally, Joe, you lead off the fifth round here. Your final pick.
My final pick is do they know about him? Nobody knows about Brian Whitehead. Brian Whitehead is an outstanding football player, had 61 tackles, 7 sacks at Pearl River Community College.
Know it well.
And the coaches here are very high on. I predict right now. Where did you hear it first, Matt Warren? You heard it first at Yacht Talk, baby. It is Brian Whitehead with 8 to 10 sacks this year, scoring me multiple fantasy points.
Okay.
And bringing home the bacon for the win.
Are you finished with your final pick yet? Okay, I'm going with sophomore safety Brylan Green. You think Joe is the mean green mortgage machine?
Yeah.
Well, this guy is a lean green, interception, tackling, returning touchdowns, money machine is what I have here.
That's a lot of words.
Multi-sport athlete, relying on special teams coach Kyle Krantz, who said that he's going to be returning punts this year because of his experience tracking balls in the outfield. So I'm going full confidence in Green. This pick is money.
All right, the final pick of the draft. I'm going to go back to the wide receivers. Kylan Austin looked really good in the spring. Young guy, electric speed. There's so much uncertainty at the wide receiver position. I think this is a guy that very well could break out. So let's take a look now at our final rosters. You take a look at how these teams stack up. At this point, we all feel pretty confident, I think it's fair to say, like the direction that we're headed.
A lot of turnover on this roster. So a lot of unknowns,
we also have opportunities to swap them out later.
A lot of new names.
We may be doing that, but we'll be tracking this throughout the year.
Yep.
And, of course, both on the podcast and on the show, let you know who's faring well and who is
not
so much. All right, much more Flame Central coming up right after this.
Does education mean a room with 4 walls, a desk, and a PowerPoint lecture?
Or is it something bigger?
What if it's the people beside you, 1 chair away or 1 ocean away?
What if it's the chance to learn from your mistakes, as well as your victories?
And the push to keep going either way.
What if it's the freedom to reach for bigger things without missing the little ones in between?
For each of us, education looks a bit different.
Because we're each a bit different.
But at Liberty, We think education might just mean something big enough for all of us. That's liberty to us.
What will liberty be to you?
Challenges, they're nothing new. At Liberty, we know they make you stronger, force you to learn, adapt, to overcome. When your next challenge comes, be ready. Meet it with a degree that propels you forward. We've helped champions like you succeed for 35 years and counting. And now, over 100,000 students are getting stronger every day. At Liberty University, challenges make champions. Let's overcome together.
So our daughter Bella did LUOA and she absolutely loved it.
Yeah, and all our kids, it was a little bit different how they did school because when they were in school, Duck Dynasty was going on.
For Bella, it worked out for us to just kind of go all the way homeschool, which that flexibility of being able to do school online and travel with us when she wanted to travel was just a really great blessing. And that's a great thing that LUOA offers is you can kind of move at your own pace, move faster if you need to.
So yeah, that certainly matched up for her.
Flexibility was
for sure
a key. So to be able to have LUOA to like guide her and have actual real life teachers and a whole framework set up was really, really helpful. I would say doing the online academy really prepared Bella for college. It actually, is a lot of hard work, but the teachers are so great at helping you through it, helping you kind of through that learning curve. And I definitely feel like it really prepared her for what was to come for her college career.
Hey, welcome back to the show. Just when you thought game day on the mountain couldn't get any better, we're taking it to a whole new level.
Yeah, we are. If you like our coverage of Liberty Athletics on Flame Central, then you're going to love our new football pregame show. Matt came up with the name Flame Central Game Day.
Took me all summer to come up with it, yep.
So here's the rundown. We'll be live from Williams Stadium. Every home game 1 hour before kickoff. It's all the Flame Central personalities that you've grown to love throughout the years. We'll have expert analysis, exclusive interviews, all the sights and sounds to get you ready for game day.
Where can you watch? Well, you can watch on the Liberty Flames YouTube channel or the Liberty Flames Twitter account, X account if your name is Elon. And don't forget to come by the set and say hello. We'll be at the southeast corner of the stadium.
It's a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Can't wait for that. Hey, don't forget as well, libertyflamecentral.com. Check out the website for any of our great stories you might have missed.
And the Flame Central podcast, we have great guests that come on and give us that exclusive content that you're looking for. So be sure you download that. For Matt, I'm Emily. We'll catch you right back here next week.
A college degree is more than a diploma. It's taking control of your future and finding that next step. At Liberty University, we not only care about your career, we also care about your calling. And we want to help you learn, develop, and grow so you can make an impact as a champion for Christ. Over 600 online programs, one you, infinite possibilities.